Okay, hello, welcome to Death Metal Chef. My name's Jez, and I'm here to show you how to cook things and bake things and make things at home that are really easy to do and that, given the current climate, are going to benefit you a lot, because there's a lot of crazy fuckers out there who've gone out and done all this panic buying and bought a load of shit that they don't need, and they don't really know what to do with. I went down to, Asda yesterday, and flour, yeast, baking area pillaged, distraught, gone, empty, void of substance, totally gone. And now I live in Morley, and no disrespect to the people of Morley and their surrounding areas, but I've seen the type of people that queue up outside Greggs, and I know these fuckers don't know how to bake bread, so why they're all pillaging all the yeast and the baking products, beyond me. Tin spaghetti hoops, fair enough, I get where you're coming from, I understand, tin opener, nom nom nom. But anyway, so I'm going to do some recipes, and I'm going to teach you how to make some things, and we're going to start. The very first one is, I'm going to show you all how to make bread, right? Now, I'm half English, half Italian, and I fucking love bread. God, I love bread. I love bread, like, literally. If I wasn't married, I'd have a loaf of bread and make a hole in it and take it to bed. Love bread. It's so easy to make. It really is. It's just a combination of some sugar and yeast and salt and oil and flour. But we'll get to all this in a minute. So initially I'm going to do a couple of bread recipes over the coming weeks. We'll start out with a basic white bread recipe. Really easy to do, straightforward. I'll go through the ingredients in a minute. But it requires yeast, and a lot of people are going, well, but I've gone to Asda and Morrison's and everywhere else, and there's no fucking yeast anywhere, because everyone's bought all the little sachets of instant yeast. So after we've done the recipe, we will do a bread that does not require yeast. It's called Irish soda bread. Really easy to make. I made it a few years back when I was working at a gastropub, and there was a wake that I was catering for, and it was an Irish family. One of the things they desperately adamant that they had on the menu was Irish soda bread, and it was one of the ones I hadn't made it before then, and so like going on the internet going, oh, how do I make this? And then I'm like, oh, excellent, don't require yeast. Fucking brilliant. So we'll make a bread, and then we'll make an Irish soda bread, and then if people want, we can do the sourdough bread, which is also really easy, and you make a mother sourdough, and you keep that fermenting. It's like fermentation, and it actively uses natural yeast in the air to ferment. But there are people out there that are doing really, really good recipes. Tom Aikens, really good chef. Check him out, he's got some really good tutorials on sourdough and how to make mother doughs and that kind of thing. But I mean, if people want, I will do it, but you know, there are people out there already doing it, so go check it out. So let's start this week with white bread. So the ingredients that we have is strong bread flour, which you can see right there. Now, you can use any type of strong bread flour. I use a stuff called T55 because it's the bread flour that we use in the restaurant that I run, and we make our own brioche bread in-house for our parfaits and our burgers and other things. And T55 is a really good one. If you can't get it, which probably you're not going to be able to, and you're not going to be asked about going out to try and find a particular bread flour, any bread flour, Asda, anything, whatever. Bread flour, strong bread flour, dish. That's what you want. Next we have sugar, right there. 2 teaspoons roughly in there. Salt, 2 teaspoons. Live yeast. Now, again, I understand. I'm a chef. I get access to things that people don't normally pick up or don't go out their way to pick up. You can use the instant active yeast, the powdered sachets that you get from the supermarket. That's absolutely fine. There's no qualms about it. I've got some fresh yeast, so I'm going to use fresh yeast, but I normally use dried yeast, but I'm not going to cut into my wife's stash because she's got a lot of baking that she wants to do in the coming weeks, given that we're all on lockdown. Butter, 40 grams there. Did I mention 15 grams of live yeast? It's equivalent to like 3 sachets, I think, 2 or 3 sachets. I'll double check the recipe, but I'm pretty sure it's like either 2 or 3 sachets or 15 grams. Is it 15? 15 or 30? Give me a second. Yeah, it's 15. 15 grams of live yeast. 40 grams of butter. 300 ml of tepid, lukewarm water, about body temperature. Stick it in there and it doesn't feel like it's hot or cold because that's generally about the body temperature area. And some extra virgin olive oil. You can use normal olive oil or veg oil or anything. I use extra virgin because I like the taste of extra virgin oil, and you don't use enough in your bread for it to have a strong, overpowering taste. But it helps with the stretching and the elasticity of it. So, right. Also, what you also need is a glass and some rum. Now, anybody that tells you that you don't need rum to cook is lying to you, because you do. Because rum makes chefs work. See, now I can make bread. Rum, rum, rum. Yum, yum, yum. Warm in my tongue. So, there's a lot of different ways of people doing this. There's no right or wrong, because at the end of the day, you're going to bind all the ingredients together and you're going to prove it and you're going to slap it in the oven, and then it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Now, I spent several years working as a pizza chef, and the pizza dough recipe is very similar to bread recipe, and I always used to mix all my ingredients together and in the liquid state, and then mix it in with the flour and bind it in like that way. Now, some people will tell you that you shouldn't mix the salt with the yeast because it will kill it, but I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying I never had a problem doing it this way, and my bread used to rise and it was absolutely fine. It was served in the Italian restaurant daily that I worked in, and no one ever complained, and it was fine. But if it does make you feel better, please, by all means, put your salt in your flour first. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little squeeze of oil in there, and I'm going to break up my yeast into little pieces, because I want to dissolve it predominantly in water. Apart from that big piece I just dropped in. Butter. Now, again, this isn't a necessity, it's just something that I use to give it just a fattening agent. I've not put my sugar in there yet, because sugar will start activating the yeast when I want it to start just yet, because I want to chat a bit of shit first, which I'm really good at doing. And then we will get round to mixing it all together. Now, some recipes would have you get a big mixing bowl and mix it all together like that, and then roll it out. So I'm literally using this just to bind all my things together, and as soon as it starts pulling away, I'm going to get it onto the table, get some flour in there, and then I'm going to start kneading it. I'm going to roll it and do all these hand motions and lots of that. So initially I'm going to stir my salt in just a little bit, just so it's evenly distributed. I'm probably going to take little pieces of butter and make them into little pieces of butter and break that down. Again, you don't have to use butter. There's 1,000 million squillion recipes on the internet for how to make bread, and every single one of them is slightly different because everyone wants theirs to be a little bit more different so that it's not the same as the other person. But we're talking about something that's been being made for thousands of years. You know, all the way back to people just baking flour and water, binded on flat hot rocks, and you know, there is a right and a wrong way to do it, but it takes a special person to fuck up bread. It's easy. It's easy. Christ, my she's 10 next week, but my 9-year-old, she can make a decent loaf, and it's not because her dad's a chef. It's just because it's bread, and everybody can make bread, and you all will too. You will all make bread, and you will make this bread, and you will love this bread. And you will good times. I know that there's a whole thing about a bread shortage on at the moment. People can't get flour, they can't get this, that, and the other, and I get it, you know. But it's down to people going out panic buying flour like it's the apocalypse. Like we're gonna all be living in bunkers for the next 2 years. You know, it's ridiculous. But to save yourself the hassle, don't get stressed about not being able to buy sliced bread, which is fine, but making your own bread is 10 times better, and it's something you can do with the kids. Kids love to get messy, you know, and any excuse to make some bread and family activities, bits of butter that jump at you, pot. Get involved, you know, bake with the kids, bake with the parents, and just get involved, break bread, make bread and break bread, and drink rum. So, I'm going to go over here and get the whisk, just so I can whisk up salt and sugar and yeast. Now, if anyone doesn't understand the concept of how bread works, you know, fair enough, not everyone does. It's very simple. Yeast is like bacteria, and we want it to grow and ferment and expand. Now, to do that, we feed it sugar. It's like a small child. You want it to become active, so you give it sugar. And then it goes and then it uses a binding agent. Yep, that was a bit silly. So I'm going to start mixing this in. Extra flour once we get it out in order to start kneading it together. Again, there's no accurately right and wrong amounts of flour. It's all about consistency. It's what it is mainly about. Let's be clean, work clean. I ain't got nobody here to clean up after you at the moment, just everybody's laid off. I'm joking, we're not laid off, we're just in a state of stagnation. Chefs all over. I'm part of several chef groups on Facebook, and they're all beginning to climb the walls. And I'm making bread at home. What do I do? Listening to voice recordings of the ticket machine. I spent so long complaining about having to do all the work that we do, and then exactly we're in a situation where we don't have to. We don't know what to do. This is at a point now where it's still sticky, but it's pulling away from the sides, which is kind of what you want. You're going to get to that pliable stage. You go over here and get the flour. does it play? Right, let's get this out of the way. So, now we're going to make a little bit of space to work, and I'm going to start really kneading the bread or the dough at this point now is very important because it's what basically allows it to rise when you're working all of these ingredients in together. There are big descriptive things for like why we need bread but you know I'm not brilliant at doing these tutorials while I'm working at the same time. Most chefs just work in silence or swear or listen to music or so I can't explain what I'm doing other than I'm folding and I'm stretching at the same time. And as I'm doing, I'm kind of using more flour so it doesn't stick. What I'm doing is kind of, I'm taking it, just better explain what I'm doing. I'm pushing it out on my knuckles and I'm folding it back in. And I'm taking another part and I'm not using my fingers per se, I'm using my knuckles because that's how I do it. And it's just, I mean, it comes from years of like when you get maybe cuts or burns in the kitchen and you don't want to kind of press it in, so you use your knuckles a lot more. Well, I do anyway, it's probably the chefs I look like a fucking dog. I don't burn knuckles so far, I don't do that all the time, I use my fingers. Well, good for you, fuck you. I don't, alright? I'm clumsy. And I've been in the trade long enough now where it's easier to either burn myself because I can't be asked reaching for a towel or cut myself because I'm trying to multitask by telling three people what to do, also speaking to the restaurant manager at the same time while trying to call checks order and plate up. So yeah. Anyway, so as you can see, I'm stretching and I'm kneading and I'm working it and I'm working it and I'm working it. Patch. We're just going to keep doing this until it binds to a reasonable consistency. Consistency you're looking for is not too far away from where we are now. I got taught, if I can remember, drink some rum and I'll help me remember. No, you go farther back. Yeah. When you're stretching it, you want the elasticity to pull back on itself, but with a certain amount of give. Now, without literally teaching you one-on-one, this is something you will find for yourself. The more you bake and the more bread you bake, you'll find your own way, as everybody does, because let's be fair, bread didn't invent itself, and at some point people have to do it through trial and error, and the times have not changed in that respect. So, once we get this to a decent consistency, we are going to prove it. Now, I don't have a proving oven, and I doubt many people do, unless you're rich. And if you are rich, then chances are you're not going to make bread, you're going to have somebody make it for you, or buy it from Marks and Spencer's or Waitrose or wherever the fuck rich people buy their bread. They have their own French baker, I don't know. So normally I would stick it somewhere warm up top, but it's like 1 o'clock in the morning or something and it's cold near the windowsill. So I've put the oven on about at 70, 80 degrees, and I'm going to prove it in there with the dough slightly ajar and a moist towel over the top of the bowl. It's important that it's moist, you don't want it to dry out and crack, because then when it rises, it cracks and splits and doesn't rise properly because of the crust. So you want to keep it moist. If you would all like to just take a moment to join me in saying the word moist. Moist. Like the word moist. Yeah, you know what? I'm happy with that. Hope this camera here has been watching this, because that's my close-up camera. So, as you can see, I've got some dough. There's nobody alive that doesn't want to spank the dough, you know? Man, woman, child, dog. It's literally spank it. Ooh, suit you, sir. Making bread at 1 AM, sir, in the kitchen. Drinking rum with you, sir. Drinking rum. Makes you worse, sir. Spank the bread, did you? Ooh, suit you, sir. And if you can remember that, then you're as old as me. That makes you old. Because I am old. I was. So, tuck it in at the bottom. Kind of pinch it, grab it, because you want to pull it underneath, so when it proves upwards rather than there. My terminology is crap. My teaching skills are very coarse, because I've only ever taught chefs, and teaching chefs is very much more simple, as any chef will tell you that has been taught, as we all have. Times have changed now, and it's much more politically correct, but for anyone that came from my era, or pre-era to that kind of like mid-90s, early 90s sort of era, the Ramsey era, if you want. You know, it's very straightforward in how you learn. You learn fast and you learn correctly, and if you didn't, you got a pan coming your way, or worse. So, I've got a bowl here. Now, what I normally do, let me get some help. Just clean out the drop. Normally, this is what I do. Again, all these things I'm showing you, they are not the complete ultimate correct way, but it's the way that I work, and it generates good enough results for me. You know, I like to think I'm a reasonably good chef. I make nice food, I write good menus, and I'm reasonably successful in what I do. But I'm still clumsy. Not enough room. So we're going to give the oil to the basin. We're going to give it a bit of a coating around the outside, so that when it proves, it's like Yorkshire pudding tins that have lost their non-stick. When it rises, it doesn't pull away from the sides, and it doesn't rise as much, because it's almost like the bowl is gripping it from the inside and stopping it from rising. So a little bit of oil in the bottom, stick it upside down, give it a bit of a shake, flip it, upside down, bit of tape. So you've got a nice oil coating on the bread, and that will help with proving. So the oil will stop it from drying out, and when it rises it will stretch nice, and it will give it a nice gloss, a nice sheen. See that whole nice shine. We're going to get this cloth, we're going to run it under warm water and wring it out, but not completely dry. You kind of want it to be still semi-damp, semi-moist, whatever you want. then we are going to lay our warm damp cloth over the top like so, and then we are going to put it in the oven to prove. And that should take about half an hour or so. What can I put in there to stop it? Now we'll take this, we'll hold that there. Right, that's going to prove for about half an hour. I'm going to clean it down, pick up the things I've dropped on the dog, which he doesn't really seem that bothered about, but then again, not much does bother him. Right, let's go. So, our white bread is just nearly finished in its primary proof. We're going to take it out, we're going to smash it in and deflate it, knock all the air out of it, re-roll it and put it back in for its secondary proof. So, primary proof, secondary proof, and once it's proved the second time, then we're going to bake it at 180. So, let's take it out of the oven, have a look. Survey says, beautiful, doubled in size, nice and soft. We'll take that out. Et voila. So, going to knock all the air out of this. I'm going to knead it again, second time over. Now the point of this is, you want it to rise first time around, to activate the yeast and get the air into it, knock it back out, make it rise a second time, and the second one is the important one for when it bakes straight after the second proof. You've already got the air in there, it's already made it light and fluffy. You're going to bake it from there in order to trap the air that's kind of risen in there. That makes sense. I'm shit at explaining this sort of stuff. You know, I just do. See it, feel it, and make it, and it all kind of falls into place. Apart from this camera. This camera's not falling into place, are you? No. Worst first video ever. So, doing all this, knocked all the air back out of it, dough's nice and pliable, light, spongy, it works. So what we're going to do is, we're going to put it on our tray that we're going to bake it on. This is pretty done in, but I've used it forever and it does the job and it generates the right result, and that's all I am bothered about. And tuck it in, as you see with the loaf, I'm digging in and I'm pushing over the top, kind of get a tube sort of effect going on. Tucking it, tucking it. We're going to go tuck, 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 in like this. Until you get the desired shape or undesired shape or undesirable shape or whatever you want to call it. For me, I'm happy with that. I'll prove now. Get some oil to it, a bit of quick coating. Oil's your best friend. A lot of people use flour to dust it with and stuff, and I like to use oil because it allows the bread to stretch without cracking. So, change that so it don't look like a bell end. It looks like a bell end. I'm going to peel this bread. Well, you know what? Fuck it. I will not care because it will be yummy, yummy bread. Nice and glossed over. Tucked it in. Right, that's going back in the oven to prove. Suppose you're going to put this over it. Wet, warm towel. In it goes. We'll leave that in there for about half an hour-ish. The times are approximately. When it doubles in size or like balloons up, then you kind of go, you're ready, and then you're going to crank it up to 180. While that is doing that, we are going to put together some Irish soda bread. Now, Irish soda bread, funnily enough, came from Ireland. There's no yeast involved. So if you are having a mare, getting hold of some yeast, because every cockwomble and his dog has cleared Asda, Tesco, Sainsbury's and all of the forms of supermarkets out of all flour, instant yeast, baking goods and all of the paraphernalia that involve actually baking at home and making your own food. Irish soda bread is your best friend because it doesn't require yeast, but it still does rise to a certain degree. So, ingredients, I'll go explain how, why, what and when once we get through this part. 500 grams of plain flour. You do not need strong bread flour because you've not got yeast activating in it, so plain flour is absolutely fine to work with. From that you have got, 350 grams. Aha, it's 500 grams for the white bread. 350 grams for this. Right, I add oats to my Irish soda bread because I like oats. I like flapjack and I like granola and I like oaty goodness, but I hate porridge. Hate it. Anybody who knows me will verify this. Don't like porridge, it's renowned. So, I'm going to mix in 100 grams of oats in with the flour. I'm going to add in 25 grams of butter at room temperature, broken into little pieces, like so. Yeah. Little pieces of butter. There we go. Next, we are going to add in 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. This is where you're activating the rising in your Irish sourdough, because you're going to add to it 300 ml of buttermilk. Now, if you are not particularly interested in going out and buying buttermilk, which I don't blame you because there's no need, you can literally sour some milk. You can use a white wine vinegar, or you can use a lemon, which is what I'm doing. Get your 300 ml of milk, get yourself half a lemon, and squeeze the juice into your milk. And there you go, instant buttermilk. Pretty sure I just dropped pips in there, but fine. Be a nice little surprise for the kids when opens. I mean, the kids aren't going to eat this because they're just like, traditionally, Irish soda bread is made with wholemeal bread. Wholemeal flour. But I use white flour because guess what? There's no fucking wholemeal flour in the supermarkets. Wonder why. But if you are going to make it traditionally, you can use 50-50, white and wholemeal. I can just use wholemeal, but I substitute the wholemeal by adding oats in there because I think it gives it a nuttier, richer, more full of flavour. So, got your lemon juice mixed in, lemon on the floor. I will appreciate that. Leave it there, see if the dog eats it. The acidity from the lemon in the buttermilk is going to activate the bicarbonate soda that's in there, and that's where you're going to get your activation for rising agent. Give that a bit of a mix up. I'm going to get plain flour because I'm probably going to, when I start mixing it and kneading it, I'm going to need extra flour in order to work it. So, 300 ml buttermilk in with your dry mix. Put about 2/3 of it in to start with, just so you can actually start binding everything that's in there together. You get your clumpy, like so. And you get sort of sticky icky. And add a bit more. And we're just working this in, mixing it. There's no kneading involved like it is with the white flour, because again, like I keep saying, you're not activating any yeast, you're just binding all of these ingredients together to make a dough. Now, there's a little splash left. It will be very wet, or it will appear to be very wet. You want this because if it's too dry, you're going to end up with a pretty dense, thick loaf that is not particularly pleasant to eat unless you are dipping it in something like stew or something else that soaks it up and kind of loosens it up. But keep it extra wet now and just bring it back with a little bit of flour, and it will be much more supple and a gentle loaf. So get some flour in there, just so away from the sides. A little bit of flour on the table. Again, nothing flour on the cracks, or Elle's not going to be happy. But you know, she's an amazing woman, very understanding, and very, 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 very patient with me, because I am a pain in the ass. But then again, I think that's just a chef thing. It's almost like we use it as a get-out clause, like, you're an absolute pain in the fucking ass. I'm a chef. And it's like, oh, alright then. No, it never works that way. But still. So, even though I'm kneading it like it is white, I'm not so much kneading it, it's just naturally the way that I kind of fold bread. My flour. As you can see, it's easy to make bread. It's even easier to make Irish soda bread. You are literally just putting some ingredients in a bowl together, mixing it till you got a dough, and hello, Irish soda bread. And you bake it just like you would do normal bread, and then you go nom nom nom. We can all agree on the nomage of bread. A quick rub, get rid of excess bits and stickiness. Please do try these recipes. I mean, I'm doing this partly because I'm struggling as a chef to not be constantly cooking and working. And don't get me wrong, I am amazingly grateful for the time it's allowed me with my family. That I've had more time than I've ever had before, and it's amazing. At the same time, it's in my nature, and it has been for over 20 years, to be in a kitchen and cook and make predominantly a lot of the time. I mean, not so much when you get into like a head chef role, because there's a lot more telling people what to do, or then you get to the point where you're telling people what not to do. But it's in my nature, and it's in most chef's nature. And the reason I'm also doing this is because people out there should be able to do basics. Things like this. Everybody should be able to do this, and they can. You know, you've just got to make the effort. And it's easy. It's so easy. And you can impress people. Like, I baked a loaf of bread and they're like, oh, that was very nice. And you're like, yeah, I know, I'm trying to do this. Toasty, toasty, buttery, buttery, nom nom, crunch, crunch. I made white loaf last night. Left it covered over in a towel, came on this morning. The kids, all of them, toasted it, butter, jam, and it was like, best thing ever since sliced bread. Did just say that. I was fucking retarded. You may have already noticed, those that know me, and those that don't know me will understand very quickly I am not politically correct, and I say a lot of stuff before I even realise what I've said, and then afterwards I'm too I'm too proud to admit that I just said something really fucking stupid, so I just carry on going. But, I mean, well, I just say what I think straight up. Very little filter. Okay, so, traditionally, sourdough is a ball shape, and what you want to do with this is when it goes on the tray, again, instead of oiling it, you get the pastry dish. Somewhere there. Instead of oiling it, I've melted some butter, very, very small amount, and I'm going to glaze it rather than use oil, so I think it gives it a nicer colour and slightly buttery taste, funnily enough. Do this over here. Keep forgetting that I'm performing to a camera rather than doing some form of teaching people stood around. That word that I can't remember. Can't brush butter and think and use words at the same time. People are much better suited to this than me. But it's a laugh and we're going to keep going, we're going to keep making those things. Now, important at this point, before it goes in the oven, you want to score it in a cross deep, because otherwise it's going to cook on the outside before it actually cooks in the centre because of the density of it. Don't know if that's true, that's my assumption of it. But Delia said to do it, and that bitch knows her shit, you know? So Delia says to do it, then do it. So I'm going to score it almost like halfway through the loaf. Like so. That's kind of what we're looking for. We're still going? Yeah, we're still going. So, that's kind of what we're looking for. Let's put that on top to put in the oven. As soon as that has proved, I will put them both in at 180 for about 25 minutes to half an hour. There's no, again, no concrete set time, and when it's done, it's done. You mean, I mean, surely enough people will have told you, like, get a loaf of bread when it comes out of the oven, tap it underneath. If it's hollow, then it's baked all the way through. If it's not, put it back in. You know, when boom, 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 you know, you get it, okay? Right, so, we'll come back when they're coming out of the oven, and then we'll finish off, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do next time round. Okay, cool. Catch you in a bit. So, we are nearly wrapped up. White bread has come out of the oven. As you can see, loaf, easy, bread, you bread, you can do this, this is easy, you can do it. Nice, big, fresh loaf of bread. You've got the ingredients, you've got the recipe, you've got the tools, you've got an oven, you're away. And then finishing off, sourdough, not sourdough, soda bread. Beautiful. Hot. Very hot. Perfect. So, that wraps up today's little adventure. We'll be back with more recipes, and hopefully you'll be back and you'll watch more. and that'll be great. And you'll tell people about this guy who does cooking and keeps it real and makes things and shows me how to do things. And yeah, let's keep it going. Have a lot of fun. We're gonna make some really interesting things in the coming time. We're gonna do some pasta. We're gonna do some pizza dough. We'll then move on to stuff like we'll make some stroganoffs. We'll do, there's all sorts. I mean, this is like the first one. There's a tester. See how we go with this one. Subscribe, Death Metal Chef UK. Tell your friends. Share the videos. Keep a watch out for the next one that's coming up. And I'll see you very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Keep it real.